Hello, you wonderful, and welcome to another week. I hope it proves a good one for you. I thought it would be really nice to have some actual teaching for me this week. You've done really well with listening to all the videos, and particularly on the maths and things. I'm so pleased with how you're doing, and I thought we'd have a little bit of a change this week, and I will do some English teaching. We've done some work like this before where I tend to model a sentence really carefully, and then you go and write a sentence based on that model, and then we come back and share those, and then I do another one, and then you go. And you remember that? And in one lesson, I want 3 sentences, but I want 3 fantastic sentences. That's what we're going to do this week. So what I've got for you, I've got a short video, and it's really short. It's only 2 minutes long, and you're going to write a piece based on that. And for the first 3 sections of that, which I'll talk about in a minute, you're going to really follow my model really closely. I'm going to model each of those 3 first parts of the video. Then after that, you can write whatever you like. Let's hope it'll still be really quality, and I've got some suggestions about that later. But you're going to, so the first bit is going to be really controlled by me to get that quality of writing up. And then you're free to write whatever you want, and you can change what happens in the story if you want. You can change the character, you can change the setting, change anything, whatever you want to do after that point. All right. So first of all, you need to have watched the video. Now, if you haven't already watched the video, go and watch that now. It's called Road's End, and you'll just find it on YouTube. I have given you the link in the file. The first little bit is well, the whole video is very negative in its atmosphere, isn't it? It's quite bizarre. It's quite eerie. So I want to capture that in my writing, and I'll be talking about that negative all the way through. So right at the beginning, what I want is just to take the first little tiny bit, literally 1 second now. And I'm going to write about that, and I'm going to write about that because it really sets the scene and that negative emotion that we want our readers to be having. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Here's my version, and I'm going to put, just to help you in the future, that this is plot point 1. And my sentence, because that's all about sound, isn't it? Yes, you can see some things, but it's the sounds that are really powerful. I'm going to write a sentence that focuses on sound, and I'm going to ask you to write a sentence that focuses on sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm thinking about this. You've got the wind going across, and then you've got the sound that we then discover is the wheel turning and screeching, and that sort of more. They're both quite unpleasant sounds. So I'm going to start talking about the wind. I don't just want it to be the wind, because I want negative. So I'm going to call it the shrill wind, because shrill is quite an unpleasant sound, isn't it? I want my readers to know that it's unpleasant. Now I'm just pausing there because I'm thinking about, well, the shrill wind blue. Blue is a bit sort of ordinary, it's a bit neutral, it's not really negative. I'm thinking as I'm typing there, I've kind of changed. What if it was sort of scraped, as if the wind is actually scraping out? And actually, I quite like that because it goes with although what they have been scraped by the wind over millions of years. So the shrill wind scraped over the could have wasteland, could have desolate's a good word here, isn't it? Desolate wasteland. Seems like I'm saying the same thing twice. So why don't you take that straight over the desolate? So it's almost like there's nothing there. But it isn't just the wind. We've got that wheel turning, haven't we? So it's almost an interruption. Only by a is it a screech? Oh, put on instead of only. That still doesn't sound very negative. only by interrupted. Now you can do. I don't like the word interrupted there. I don't think it's powerful enough. So what I'm going to do is go for Swords UK HTML class. If you've got access to this, you could do this too. So I'm just going to that interrupted in, and I'm going to like interrupted because it's not powerful enough. Or I could have broken. Shore wind scraped over the desolation. Broken. Can you break? Oh, can't say. Can you break wind? I just said that. So I'm not going to go for broken. What about disrupted? That might be a bit more polite. How about disrupted? Only by a screech. I was saying earlier that it's almost like rhythm, isn't it? A rhythmic screeching. The shrill wind scraped over the desolation, disrupted only by a rhythmic screeching. I've almost got some alliteration there, haven't I? Shrill, scraped, screech. I might come back to that later and see if I could put some more. Maybe I could change the desolation to a word starting with S. Oh, I don't know. Let's have a look. It's quite exciting. Sad, I know. Desolation. Solitude. Genius. Over the solitude. Solitude is like you're all on your own. It's lonely and empty. Over the solitude. Disrupted only by a rhythmic screeching. I like it. So that's my sentence. And if you want to, you can pause it now, go and write your sound sentence on that very first few seconds, that first 6 seconds, and then come back to it. Or you can watch the whole of the first day, the first 3 sentences. It's up to you. I'll never know. The shrill wind scraped over the solitude, disrupted by a rhythmic screeching. All right. Now, I need to tell my readers something about that sound, what it is, don't I? And I thought it would be good to use a simile to do that. Similes are good when you want to give a powerful image to your reader. And as you probably remember, I like it when that simile is linked to the action that's happening or the scene. So that we don't want to start talking about fast as a cheetah because, one, I've heard that lots of times before, so what's the point? Simile is supposed to be creative and make imaginary things. And 2, there aren't any cheetahs in this setting. So I want it to be really deeply rooted in what's happening in this setting. So I'm going to say the sound. Hang on, the reader's going to think, well, what sound? And it's a screeching sound. So I might just put the screeching sound. Then I don't need the sound, do I? Okay. The screeching. And I need to tell them what it was coming from. So I'm going to use a relative clause here, which you don't have to do, but if you remember the comma which is a relative clause, which was coming from the wheel of an overturned car. Screeching, which was coming from the wheel of an overturned car. Coming from is a very boring word, isn't it? Coming from. I think I know a better word actually without the thesaurus. Emanating, which was emanating. It's like it was being given out by. Emanating from the wheel of an overturned car. Now I'm coming towards my simile. Stopped abruptly. I want to show that it really stopped suddenly. And like so. Now try and think of something that might stop in that kind of environment. I wonder if I can use the car. What might stop a car abruptly? Hitting a brick wall. A car hitting a brick wall. There aren't any brick walls there. What sort of walls are there? Canyon Wall. Because they're in a canyon, Canton Canyon, hitting canyon wall. Better word than hitting. Maybe smashing into. Okay, get the idea. That sentence again. The squeaking, which was emanating from the wheel of an overturned car, stopped abruptly, like a. I think I needed. I could have a hyphen there, so it sounded stopped abruptly, like a car smashing into a canyon wall. Quite like that. Right. Last sentence from this section, and possibly from the day if you want to start like that. Now with this one, I thought I'd tell you what about happening. So I have a simple action sentence. An action sentence, I really want to focus on what's being done and how it's being done. So I might need some adverbs to help me do that. So what happens? Well, the man reaches out and he stops it. But if we just take a moment to go back and look at how he does that. He reaches out in a really slow way, doesn't he? He's not like, he's not in a panic. He's not like rushing to stop it. He's like really slow and almost lazy with his movements. So I want to capture that. I also want my reader to know there's something odd about him. So I'm going to call him a peculiar man. I'm not going to describe him quite yet. I'm going to describe him in the next plot point. Had reached out and stopped the wheel. Okay, but that doesn't capture the laziness. I might need to go back to my thesaurus for that. Lazily, nonchalantly. Leisurely is quite nice. I can't have leisurely. Let's try. Languid. Languid is just like really slow movements like that. I'm going to go for languid. Reached out languidly and stopped the wheel. I might say how he stopped it. With a gloved hand. Yeah, good. So that's my plot point 1. And if you're doing it like that, that's the end of your first lesson. And you would have written 3 sentences now, or go away and write 3 sentences now. You get the idea. But I'm going to go on and do it all in one video so that you've got it all together and you can find your own way of doing it. Right, plot point 2. Now, plot point 2 is so short, it's ridiculous. It's just what the guy looks like. So it's almost like the video isn't moving at all. I'm focusing in on that image and thinking, okay, what does my reader want to know? We want to keep with that negative frame of mind. We don't want to describe him as being some jolly chappy. We want it to be negative and a little bit mysterious. I was thinking to get that mysteriousness really across, that I would use a sentence with repetition. Now, as you remember, repetition means using the same word again, and normally we would want to use it 3 times to make it really clear that you're using it for an effect, rather than if you use it twice, then it might just come across as, well, you couldn't think of any other words. So I'm going to say the man was truly peculiar. I wonder if I should correct for that. The man was truly peculiar. I just noticed the way I read it in my head. The man was truly peculiar. And now I'm going to go on and tell my reader about why he was peculiar. So I could use a colon there, because I've got a little bit of description. The man was truly peculiar. I'm going to go on now to describe a little bit more about that. So description, colon, detail, you might remember that. So why was he peculiar? Well, his eyes were hidden by peculiar, they're not glasses, are they? More like goggles. Are they like driving goggles people used to wear? I might put driving goggles. No, that's not as mysterious. I'm going to take that out. His lower face was expressionless. He's really blank, isn't he? Because of a peculiar scarf. Peculiar scarf. And most peculiar of all was the unsettling. I want to get the idea of that sort of blank gaze. Well, it reminds me, but actually all of a sudden, of those mirrored lenses in the Cogheart baddies. I wonder if I can try and catch that. He seemed to be watching you from behind. The reflective lenses. Behind the lenses. Yeah, no, that'll do. Good. There's sentence number 2 then. Oh no, it's sentence number 1. That's a long one. The man was truly peculiar. His eyes were hidden by peculiar goggles. His lower face was expressionless because of a peculiar scarf, and most peculiar of all was the unsettling way he seemed to be watching you from behind the reflective lenses. Good. A little bit eerie there. Right, now then, some of you will remember the pathetic fallacy. And I'm going to use this because I haven't said anything much about the setting yet. I've mentioned the canyon, but they don't know that we're in a canyon. That was only in the simile. So pathetic fallacy is when you use the weather around you to create a mood or to show what your characters are feeling. So I want it to show that it's negative, that it's really not a very pleasant place to be. So I wanted to talk about the heat because this is actually set in, it looks to me like, it could be Australian, but I think it's probably an American, out of the Midwest in these really, really dry desert-like places. So I want to talk about the sun. I want to talk about the heat of the sun almost sucking the life out of everything. So the heat of, I don't want to just say the sun, what would make a sun really, really hot? So not just a normal hot sun, but what about if it was in a really dry place like the desert sun, the heat of the deserts? Or, I was going to say it's like the Sahara. And then we got that sound, which even sounds quite hot. The heat of the Saharan sun shone down on the, I'm going to call wasteland now, I haven't used that word yet. And the sense that it's that everything is sucked dry, leaving everything washed out and exhausted, including the peculiar man. The heat of the sun, suppose shone sounds a bit friendly. You could have a nice sun could be shining on a nice day in England, couldn't it? I don't want shone. Sun shone. I'm going to go for blasted. What do you think? That's a bit more unpleasant. That's got that negative intent, hasn't it? Blasted. I might even add something else. Intensely down on the wasteland, leaving everything washed out and exhausted, including the peculiar man. Better save this. Call it model. There we go. All right, including the peculiar man. One more sentence in this section then. What else do we need to tell the reader about? I haven't said anything about the scarf, and that's quite interesting, isn't it? Because the scarf is the only thing that's really colourful. The rest is all sort of washed out and browns. So I was just going to say the loose ends, but I might change that to say vibrant, so they're really alive. The vibrant crimson loose ends of his scarf. I'm pausing here because I'm wondering if I should have done some personification here, as if that scarf is alive, because it's the only thing that's really. No, I'm not going to. You could if you wanted. The vibrant crimson loose ends of his scarf. I'm just going to keep this as a simple action sentence. Loose ends of his scarf. What are they doing? They're blowing sideways. Blew sideways. In the wind that blasted from the east. Oh, I can't have blasted twice, can I? I'm going to go back to my thesaurus. These are all sort of blasted, blown. Oh, that was useful. Those are too friendly. Not seeing anything here that really destroyed. That's more like it. Oh, annihilated. Like that. Winds that annihilated. Can I spell that? Yes, I can. Annihilated the. Actually, I might say canyon again. Canyon. The vibrant crimson loose ends of his scarf blew sideways in the wind. Blew sideways. In the east wind that annihilated the canyon. Good. Right. That's the end of day 2, if that's the way you're doing it. So that's the end of your 3 sentences for plot point 2. Now I'm going to go on to plot point 3. Surprising. And remember, that's the last one I'm going to do, then it's going to be up to you. So, what is plot point 3? It is from here. I'm not sure what to do with that bit. It's this bit. So it's almost like that dark negativity is interrupted by this jolly little car coming along with this jolly little guy.
Right.
And I want to show that to my reader.
There's a station up the road. I can take you there.
Okay, that's plot point 3. These tiny little snippets, but you're writing a lot of detail about them. So first of all, I want to start with that car coming around the corner, and it's sudden. It's all of a sudden. I want to use an adverb there. I want to tell my reader a little bit how it's a bit unexpected. That might unexpectedly. I want my reader to understand that it's sort of broken the mood a little bit. Do you remember that word we had in Cogheart with Anna's balloon, and it was described as jaunty? And I really like that word, so I thought I would steal that. Unexpectedly, a jaunty car. It's a cheerful little thing. Drove around the corner, came around the corner. It's all bounced around the corner. And why is it bouncing? Well, the road's all rocky, bumpy. On the bumpy, dusty, I don't want to call it a road, more of a track, isn't it? Okay, what's going to happen next? I'm going to put some action in. The noise of the car bumping. Oh, another word we had quite a lot. I can't remember which book. I think it might have been Cogheart as well. Was juddering. I think that's better than bumping. Juddering and chugging along the road broke the... It's not silence, is it? Because I've been talking about the sounds. What did it... Oh, what did it break? It broke the tension. And the man turned to greet it. And he just raises his thumb, doesn't he? So he gained... he does it in that sort of languid, slow way, like he doesn't really care. So I'm going to go for unhurriedly raising his thumb to hitch a right. Unexpectedly a jaunty. Let's go with the car. Bounced round the corner on the bumpy, dusty track. The noise of the car juddering and chugging along the road broke the tension. Just got 2 spaces there. And the man turned to greet it, unhurriedly raising his thumb to hitch a ride. The noise of the car. I'm going to put in another cheerful word there. Perky car. I think it's quite cute as it comes around the corner. Right, last sentence. I want to take it up to where the guy talks. And you don't have to stick to what he actually says. You can change it if you want, but I'm going to go pretty much for what he says, which is there's a station up the road. I can take you there or something. I can take you there. Now we don't want it just a man. We don't said offered. Do you remember we did quite a lot of work about how you show the character through their dialogue and what they say, and you either show what's happening or you show their character, or both. And I want to show a bit of both here. I want to show through. So I'm going to make him. He's quite hesitant, isn't he? There's a station up the road. Bit of a pause there. Maybe I can take you there. It's almost like he turns it into a question. A man offered. What does he do? Well, he opens the door, so he's quite welcoming. Opening the passenger door, and he showed it welcoming because he's going to open it wide. And then we want that moment where he sort of gets his cheerfulness. He picks up on the negativity of the guy on the road. And I'm going to put, I'm glancing up timidly, so he's suddenly afraid with his friendly brown eyes. I want to contrast that. I'm just going to reread that. There's a station up on the road. I can take you there. A man offered, opening the passenger door wide and glancing up timidly with his friendly brown eyes. Good. All right. So I'm just going to save that, and I'll put this on the files in a minute. So what I want to show you is, I'm just going to get it from my other screen. Over here, what I've put on the files for you is a little guide. So you've got the link to the film, a bit of instruction, and then it tells you plot point 1 is the wheel turning, and this is what we're talking about, and the 3 sentence types I want, and plot point 2, and plot point 3. And then it's up to you. And then here I've done a list of sentence types that I'd really like you to include in your free writing bit at the end. If you can use as many of those, that's going to really make your writing good quality. And then here I've talked about the resources that I put in our folders. I'll just show you those now. So if we go onto here, we go into English, and you'll see things there. But here's the resources. Do you remember those colour mats that we've got hanging up at the back of the classroom? That's those there. And then here we've got the same sort of idea, but again, I think they live at the back of the classroom. So we've got all 5 senses, and then we've got different ones for, let's just open the action one for the sake of it. So if you're writing about action and you're struggling for a sentence, you might go onto here and It's got all sorts of words to describe action that are from particular books. So if you wanted something to show that he's uncomfortable, Lucky shivered at his words. So you could have the man in the car shivered at the peculiar man's glance or whatever. So you can steal those and then change them. So that's a massive resource there for you. Apart from that, I think I'm done. Bit of a long video. Thank you for watching. I hope you've broken it up into chunks and done little bits and little bits and little bits. And what you can then do is, if you want to send me a plot point at a time, that's fine. If you get stuck on a sentence, let me know and I can help. Or if you want to send it me all together as a draft at the end, then whatever works for you, then I will work around it. Can't wait to read these. It's going to be really interesting. I'm going to be particularly interested in what you make of the story at the end. That's going to be really something for me to look forward to. All right, have a good week. There's maths, there's geography as well, and I've put a little geography challenge as well if you want to do a little bit more of that. I know some of you are really enjoying it. Speak soon.